For those of you out there that are fans of the early Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention albums, this new live release is really something special. Let's take a look, shall we? Welcome classic rock fans to a short unboxing and review, and today I want to talk about this wonderful new release, which is Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, live at the Whisky in 1968. I'm a big fan of this early Mothers stuff, and these recordings are absolutely fantastic. And this is really an historic recording, recorded at the Whisky in 1968. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think Whisky in is at the heart of like Sunset Strip. And the band at this time really were the leaders of the underground, and were absolutely free to express themselves in any way they saw fit, or even unfit, perhaps. The band were at the Whisky in for 5 hours, and they recorded 3 sets. They were actually supported, I think, by the Alice Cooper Group. Now, the Alice Cooper Group set was actually recorded and has been subsequently released. In terms of the quality of the recordings, they're absolutely fantastic. Totally anarchic and completely bonkers, of course, but it's just how we like it. I think they recorded these with a view to putting out a live record. So I'm not sure the history of these recordings, to be honest with you. I don't think there's any Zappa aficionados out there that can weigh in on this. Is this the first time are these previously unreleased? I'm not sure, but they're absolutely wonderful. I'm so glad I got to spend an afternoon listening to this stuff. The real standout moments on these sets are Disc 1, Help I'm a Rock, and Disc 2, A Hungry Freak's Daddy, King Kong Part 1 and Part 2. It's a real treat. I mean, as I said, if you love those early albums and you love that kind of anarchic madness of the Mothers of Invention, I think you're really going to want to get a copy of this. This is released this Friday, June 21st, I believe, and I have, of course, put a purchasing link just below this video. Anyway, with no further ado, let's unbox it and take a closer look. Right, here we are. This is the CD itself. Here is the little information leaflet that comes on the front. As you can see, it says, a historic night in the summer of '68, the famous West Hollywood nightclub featuring 3 complete sets of music, newly mixed and mastered from the original tapes on 3 CDs. Newly mixed and mastered, and as I've said in the previous video, they sound absolutely amazing. There's the spine. And there's the rear. The track listing is Disc 1, Whisky Improvisation, Episode 1, America Drinks and Goes Home, Help I'm a Rock, Transylvania, Boogie, My Boyfriend's Back, Bust His Head, Tiny Sick Tears Jam, Purpose of This Evening, Whisky Improvisation, Episode 2, State Is Back Baby, Memories of El Monte, On With the Sky Valerie. Disc 2 is Fun and Merriment, Hungry Freak's Daddy, King Kong Part 1, King Kong Part 2, Octandra, I think that's what it says, forgive me if I mispronounced that. Whisky Improvisation, Episode 3, Meow, God Bless America, Presentation of Wings, Plastic People, Della's Preamble, The Duke, Take 1, Duke, Take 2, and Khaki Sack. And Disc 3 is a collection of bonus vintage mixes, which includes The Whip, Brown Shoes Don't Make It, Brown Shoes Shuffle, and Hungry Freak's Daddy, the mono mix. It opens up like this. That's better. The band, of course, Frank Zappa, Ray Collins, Ian Underwood, Bunk Gardner, Don Preston, Motorhead Sherwood, Roy Strada, Art Tripp, Jimmy Carl Black, and special guests Kim Foley and GTO's vocals. And I have it on good authority that Mick Jagger was in the audience while they were actually recording this. This is a show to be at. So open it right up, feeds across like this. The first disc. There we go. Disc 2, very much the same. And Disc 3. There we go. And now the booklet, of course. So here's the booklet with a vintage photograph of Frank himself, and opens up like this. And what I love about this is there's lots of great text about these recordings. 1968 this record. Was this just after or just before We're Only in It for the Money? I think that was an interesting album, really kind of making fun of the whole hippie flower children culture. Where it's a wonderful Sgt. Pepper parody sleeve. Of course, the Alice Cooper Group. The Alice Cooper Group performed at this show. This was just after a month or so after Frank Zappa had actually signed them. He deliberately put them on the bill because he wanted to see what they were like in the live arena. And this is the rear. This really is an absolutely delightful set. It really is. I'm so pleased to have got a copy of this. Anyway, this will be available this Friday. I think it's June the 21st. There is a purchasing link just below this video. So there we are, Frank Zappa, The Mothers of Invention, live at the Whisky A Go Go in 1968. I think this is an absolutely fabulous release. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I'll just say thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, please do click like, subscribe and check that notification bell, especially if you're a fan of the unboxing of stuff prior to its official release, like this for example. Check some of the links below this video for ways you can support the sterling work done at Classic Album Review. It's always much appreciated. And I'll leave you with my closing salvo, which is hope you're well, staying safe, and of course that you keep listening.